So, hello and welcome to another episode. So this week, as promised, I'm on or going on to Anglesey. So I've spent the last few days with some friends in Snowdonia National Park, climbing some hills, and I have to say that the weather wasn't very conducive to photos. I did take my camera up onto one of the hills. It was pretty snowy up there, and to be honest, the first day I spent most of my time terrified of the wet snow. So what I'm gonna do now is go onto Anglesey, and today I'm going to focus on the Menai Straits and the bridges there. You probably are well aware that I really like industrial landscape photography, and so I'm going to get some shots of those and then go to the lighthouse just down the coast and get some shots along there, along the beach. It's all completely new to me, and you know, so we'll see what we can find out there. But I've done, you know, a little bit of research, obviously. But I guess the most exciting part about this whole trip is it's the first one I've done in a camper van. And my wife and I got this camper van a few weeks ago, and you know, we'll obviously be using it for holidays and excursions at the weekend, but also you know, it's a fantastic tool for photography. So perhaps a bit later in this video I'll give you a quick tour of the camper van, but for now let's get going and hit Anglesey. Okay, so you just watched as we crossed the Britannia Bridge, which is I guess not a very exciting looking bridge to cross, but I've parked up on the A5 and I'm now looking across to the Menai Suspension Bridge, and on this side the bridge, the Britannia Bridge, which was rebuilt in the 70s, and perhaps, you know, well, certainly not as pretty to look at as our Menai Strait suspension. Okay, so as I said, this is just a jump out of the car, take a shot, but even then, actually, you know, I think what the autumn colours set up is perhaps a really nice panoramic shot. So what you need to be careful to do with what's in the foreground. We've got, as we look at the bridge, we've got stuff in the foreground, so those trees. So I was trying to get sort of a minimum number of those trees in the foreground. Apologies for the noise, I'm on the A5, so it's quite busy. So yeah, I was trying to get, you know, the minimum of those trees in that foreground, and just concentrate on that thin strip with the water in and the bridge, which is catching the light of the sun. And I'm gonna take a panoramic shot, which will capture the little island in front of us, and unfortunately the houses in the background, and what we can't see today is the mountains in the background, which I guess, you know, if they're anything like they was a couple of days ago, would be covered in snow. I have to be reasonably careful with exposure because the sun's coming and going as I take these photos. So if it's a panoramic shot, then I'm probably going to want to shoot it on manual and keep my exposure the same across, which, if that sun changes too much, it's going to make it quite difficult to piece together. But if I get on with it in a minute and very quickly do it, but I guess what I'll show you is, so let's say I shot this in manual, 1/25 of a second, f11. Had a long lens on there, and that is about 130 mils. So we're getting a narrow strip just of the bridge, the water, and the trees in the background with those colours. And so we'll see what that looks like a bit later on. Now I'm going to head down the road, and I'm going to do one of my other favourite things to photograph, which is a lighthouse. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so a change of plan today. I was going to have a look around a lighthouse in the south, but the book I was reading said that it made a great dawn shoot, so I've come here. And so this is sort of pointing northwest, and you can see a lighthouse behind me. Very, very photogenic. Well, it's a lighthouse, I guess. I think most lighthouses are pretty photogenic. I just got here. It's a very, I'd say, if you didn't like heights, you probably wouldn't like the walk along the cliff at the top. And I'll capture some video of that on the way back. I'm just gonna have a look round now and look for the compositions on this lighthouse. I mean, where I am at the moment is pretty good, but yeah, as with all of these things, I need to be here a little bit of time just to understand where things are, what the light's doing, and you know, play around with a few compositions. So I'll come back to you. So I've come around to a different viewpoint, and the problem, I guess, here is that where the sun's going to set. So you can see where I was before, the whole of that rock was going to catch the light here, and it doesn't really matter how far I go down. Not a lot of that rock's going to catch the light, so because I could get a picture with the setting sun in the background, I could go back to where I was before. I quite like both compositions. I just think the light's going to be better where I was before. So yeah, I've hiked all the way up and down here, and I think I'm going to hike all the way up and down and get back to where I was. However, on the positive side, it meant I wasn't just standing around for the last 20 minutes. See you in a minute. So I've come back here now, and I'm just waiting as the sun sets. I've set everything up. I've got a wide angle lens on, and I guess what I'm trying to convey is how massive the cliffs are here, and the lighthouse sitting on top of those cliffs. Now, whether that comes across or not, the proof is in the pudding. But what I'm hoping we'll get as the sun does set, turn around this way perhaps, is you're going to get lots of golden light reflected off of those cliffs, and as it gets darker, then the beam of the lighthouse, if I can capture that as well, I'll be quite happy. So I've got everything set up. It's in manual focus now, because as the light fades, the autofocus will fail as well. And looking forward to seeing whether we get any colour in the sky.